The book is absolutely chock full of, I think, pretty scandalous revelations about the nature of this Labour government, about the way in which this Labour government achieved power, and in particular way, the faction around Morgan McSweeney, a pretty small, censorious, authoritarian faction, used a campaign of misdirection funded with donations that weren't reported as required by law to effectively seize a party and transform it from within, to turn it into something that the vast majority of Labour members probably find quite disturbing.
This was at the time when Jeremy Corbyn was leader.
So between 2017 and 2020, Morgan McSweeney ran an organisation called Labour Together, which took in £740,000 in donations, which it failed to report. Now, that's not an opinion. That is cold, hard fact.
Yeah, the Electoral Commission have fined.
Exactly.
They fined Labour Together £14,250 for failing to declare those donations.
In 2021.
In 2021. And that money is not just incidental. This is not an incidental to the story. That was money that was then used to fundamentally transform our politics. Because on the one hand, Morgan McSweeney was using that money to pay for polling, to incubate the leadership of Keir Starmer. At the same time, he was running what I think is a rather despicable campaign, entirely secret, without any disclosure at all in the public, destroying the Labour Party from within to make sure that the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn couldn't win the 2019 general election, all with a pot of money that's not being declared. I think that if he had been honest with the electorate about his intentions, about how he's going to run his government, if the manifesto reflected anything what the government has actually been like, it would have been a much smaller majority. In the same way that if he was honest about his intentions and about his approach in 2020, there's absolutely no way he would have been elected Labour leader, because he presented himself as a unifying socialist, eco-socialist, Corbyn inheritor. And literally as soon as he won that election, all of the policies that he promised, all the pledges he made dropped. And in fact, I should say that my publisher said to me, it would be great if you could put together a spreadsheet or a table of every single pledge or promise that Keir Starmer made in those 4 months, and whether they were broken. I did so, and it was so long I couldn't fit it in the book.
So what you're telling me is that
the organisation that delivered you, Keir Starmer, your leader, who said repeatedly that they actually were behind Keir Starmer's leadership campaign, it doesn't disturb you at all that they were running a 2.5-year campaign to make sure the Labour Party lost under Jeremy Corbyn, a Labour Party that you were part of. You don't think that's a problem?
So we are used to having those campaigns in the Labour Party. No responsibility for electoral law. And we need to close that. I think, absolutely, I think transparency and closing that loop is so important.
You have to act like it's important. Because what you have right now is a Chief of Staff to the Prime Minister who broke the law. We know he broke the law. He's found guilty of breaking the law. And nobody seems in the Labour Party to care about that. At the same time, Labour Together's directors were Steve Reid, a cabinet minister, Lisa Nandy, a cabinet minister. That organisation broke the law for 2.5 years. Why do you not care about that fact?